She refused to make love, so he threw her out, and now she's homeless.
So how's it like being homeless in Portland?
It's a piece of cake, really. I mean, that's why you probably got so many out here, because they feed you 3 meals a day. You don't have to do but stay in your tent or party, or if you smoke a lot, you can do that.
She refused to make love, so he threw her out, and now she's homeless. Guys, what is going on around us? The homeless population is growing rapidly. Women are rapidly becoming homeless. Watch to the end of the video to find out why women are rapidly becoming homeless and what implications this has on society, especially when come 2030, 45% of all women in Western society between the ages of 25 and 44 will be single and childless. Let's go ahead and just jump right into the very first video.
What was it that happened a few months ago that caused you to become homeless?
I was just staying with people, and I went to stay with somebody, and they changed and wanted to turn it into a sexual favor. So
this was a guy, I guess, and I guess he wasn't upfront about him wanting the sexual favors and stuff, so he made it seem like he was just going to be all good, and then it turned out to be different.
Yeah.
How long was it until he started acting or showing you that it was different?
About 3 weeks.
About 3 weeks? He played the role for about 3 weeks?
Yeah.
I get it.
If she's acting like he did not know from, like, she didn't know from the very beginning that he wanted a relationship. Women believe that men are just there to provide and protect and to serve them. You know, women put men into the friend zone, and they're like, oh, that's just my friend. They'll have a guy provide a roof over their head, provide food for them, do everything for them, give them money, and then turn around and say, oh, that's not my man. That's just my friend. You know, as though they didn't know that this guy wants a relationship. And a guy can make it very, very clear from the very beginning that he wants a relationship, and she'll just pretend and act like, well, you know, I never said that it's official and blah, blah, blah. And she'll just take advantage of him. And in her mind, she's doing absolutely nothing wrong, because men only exist to be ATMs. Women only want from us our attention, our time, our money. And when we call them out and say, you know what, it's not going to happen, what do? They then turn around and use sign language, all right? Shame, insults, guilt, gaslighting, because they need to be right. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And then they can never take accountability for the decisions that they've made. And they'll basically tell everyone, oh, woe is me. You know, the system isn't fair to me. The world isn't fair to me. Men have not been fair to me. And it's everyone else's fault but my own. They lose their children, and what ends up happening? They're out there crying, and men need to come and console them. The world needs to console them because of the bad decisions that they've made.
Hey, ma'am, are you okay? I haven't seen you in a while. What's wrong? Are you okay? Did you get your kids back? You said you were having a custody battle.
They are my life.
So sorry, like, I really thought you would get them back. You said you...
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Well, just you gotta stay positive. Okay, here's $50, and we're gonna help you get your kids back. Don't worry.
You're gonna help me?
I'm gonna help you, okay? Just stay positive.
I mean, guys, think about this. You've got these simps out here. He doesn't even know why she actually lost her kids. You know, I'm sure she gave him a sob story. But what are the actual details? You know, she's homeless right now, and how is she going to take care of those kids? All right, what? So they can go and live in a shelter with her? Is she even? She's not even actively in a shelter herself right now. This doesn't make any sense. Like, do you see these simps out here giving them money and acting like, oh, we're going to help you, bro? Those kids are better off without her. Okay, they have a roof over their heads. They have food in their bellies. They are not in the streets. All right, she cannot take care of her kids, then she should not have her kids. That's the big problem with simps. Okay, simps are all up in their feelings. They are completely in their feelings. They are not processing things using facts. Men process things using facts. Simps process things using feelings. Okay, and they're all up in their feelings. They're all into they're stuck in their lizard brains. All right, those kids have no business out there with her in those streets. The best place for them to be is away from her, because you don't even know how she ended up out there. A lot of them are on this thing called blues. Like they're using these substances. They're doing all of this, living these bad lives, and then they want everyone to think that, oh, it's not my fault, bro. It's your fault. Take accountability. Take some responsibility for what you've done.
What else? What else, Melissa? What else do I say? Wow. I'm being interviewed. Yeah, that's really it. It's like you wake up, you go eat at Blanche, get high. Go eat at Blanche for lunch, get high. Go eat dinner, get high. And that's all you do all day long, every day. I'm being honest.
I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like that's really helping anybody.
It's not. That's why you see all the tents. People are up all night. Okay, people are up all night, sleep all day.
Wow.
You know, guys, there was a point in my life where I ran out of money. I was working on one of my masters. You know, I have more than one postgraduate degree, and I was homeless for a while. This was like 10 years ago, over 10 years ago, thank God. Over 10 years ago, I experienced homelessness, and I had to just deal with it and live with it. And ever since then, I've always resented homeless people because I got to know exactly how these people lived. And while I was out there homeless, just trying to complete my education, these people were out there using their substances and collecting checks. What I discovered were a lot of these people had money coming in. They were getting checks from the government. They're getting checks from Social Security. They're getting checks from Social Security disability. A lot of these people were getting Social Security disability, yet they were still homeless. What were they doing? They would pitch a tent, sleep in the tent. They would have fun. They would buy their substances. They'd play their music. They would have grills. They would cook their food, and they would enjoy their lives. And it would basically pass the buck on to everyone else. All right. They had the Obama phones, which are called something different now, Lifeline or whatever. You can get yourself a free cell phone, smartphone, and you don't have to pay for it. All right. So you got a free smartphone that you don't have to pay for. You get cash assistance. You're getting food stamps, and and depending on where you live, some of these you can have it set up where if you're homeless, you can go and buy junk food. So you can go to different locations like Wendy's and different fast food restaurants that accept it, and you can buy fast food using that EBT card. Oh gosh, all right. And then there's also the cash assistance that you can get in various different states, and you also qualify for health insurance, Medicaid. All right. And then there are people always coming around and giving you blankets, food. There's all the places, the soup kitchens where you go and you eat. So you basically end up living better on the streets than you would housed. You eat the best. You eat the best of foods. You have direct access to the substance you like because because those people are always going to be around selling to the homeless people because they know that's the reason why they're homeless, because they're all using that garbage. And they pass the buck on to everyone else, where everyone else has to suffer because they want to be lazy and they want to live carefree lives. If you are homeless for 10 years, all right, that is a choice. You are a professional at that game. There's no way you can survive for 10 years homeless. 10 years homeless. And you're pretty decently well put together. And you've been homeless for 10 years. No, bro. No, sis. That is a choice. You are a professional. You are a con artist. All right. You are a 100% con artist, and no one deserves no one should have sympathy for you. You deserve no one's sympathy.
All right, so I'm here with Ashlyn. Ashlyn, how old are you?
19.
And are you originally from Arizona?
Yes.
What part of AZ?
Phoenix.
What's your current situation right now?
And I want you guys just to look at her face. So you see those dot spots all over there? I never knew about this, but you guys taught me something in the comments. Like a year ago, there's evidently a substance out there known as blues. And a lot of them, whenever they take blues, that's the stuff that they get on their face. It also happens when they're using METH, but that's blues right there. I can pretty much bet that's blues.
Right now?
Homeless.
How'd you end up homeless?
When my dad got locked up, he got evicted, and I ended up on the streets, and then in jail, and then I got released and didn't have nowhere to go.
You went to jail?
Yeah.
What did you go to jail for?
Just some bullshit that happened a while ago. Yeah.
So your dad got locked up as well?
Yeah, but he got out. I don't know where he is, but yeah.
Do you have a relationship with your dad? Do you still
Not
talk
anymore,
to him?
no.
No? Why? What's going on there?
He got sober, and yeah, it's just, it doesn't, yeah.
So he was messing around with the substances out here?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys had a house and all that?
Mm-hmm.
and you guys end up losing it. How did that happen? Just because he went to jail? Right?
He went to jail and my mom left. And yeah.
So they separated. How was your childhood growing up?
It was good. I mean, they were using my whole life, so I mean, it was just normal for me. But they,
you know, guys, a lot of times you'll hear, you know, what these young people say is like, well, you ask about, you hear about their childhood, and in many cases they say my childhood was good. All right, and there's people who will jump and say, oh, a lot of people, they immediately kind of go to a place where they act like their abusers were nearly not that bad. No, a lot of these people, they had good childhoods, great childhoods. They're like, oh, my childhood, it was cute. All right, so how did you end up here? Because they were privileged, they were entitled, they felt like the world owed them something, so they felt like they didn't have to do anything or work for anything, and they end up homeless, using substances and wanting excitement, needing constant dopamine rushes to be happy. That's how they end up homeless. Guys, you have to understand it's only going to get worse. What's the answer to this? You know, where things are headed? You're going to see a lot more women ending up homeless because, you know, the inflation is so bad right now. No one can afford anything, specifically, especially among Gen Z. I've already said this that they're going to be stealing and squatting, you know? And that's really the truth right now. You're going to have a lot of women, including Gen X women, who kept on messing around when they should have been finding a husband or staying in a relationship that did not take it seriously. They're entering into their 60s now, some of them, and they're going to find themselves homeless and alone in the streets and trying to live in shelters. And there's not enough shelters for everyone. All right. The future for a lot of these individuals is destitution, because men are no longer subsidizing the living of women and their children, and the state does not have that kind of money to provide that subsidiary. You know, women were not designed to live without a husband, and they're going to face considerable hardships because of the rising inflation and the difficulty to sustain a life by yourself in a single income household. So that's no gripes that I have against women. I'm just making this point that things are becoming increasingly more difficult for women, and single women who do not have a husband, many of them are ending up in states of destitution. Many of them will end up in shelters because they cannot afford the crazy income. And then especially those who have children, you can see it's even worse. You know, my heart goes out to my sisters. All right, guys, what do you think regarding all of this? Are you surprised that this is happening to so many women? And also, subscribe to our newsletter for my personal thoughts, insights, and a free copy of my ebook, The Blueprint for Escaping the Rat Race. Click the link in the description to get your free copy. What do you guys think regarding all of this? She refused to make love, so you threw her out, and now she's homeless. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWM and walking away, and cheers.